Hey guys, it's Reagan, and today I thought I would film a unhaul, which have been pretty popular around BookTube lately, but yeah, I came home from college and I looked at my bookshelves and I just had so many books, and especially because, and I think a lot of booktubers can relate to this, is like when you first start BookTube, you just go on this frenzy of just buying everything, regardless, without really doing well, for me, I didn't do a lot of research. It was like, oh, I've heard of this is popular, let me buy it. And now I'm kind of looking at my shelves and I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna read that. So I actually have taken off like 40 plus books, but I'm not gonna show you 40 plus books because that would be a really long video. So it's kind of gonna be like the greatest hits of that. I think the most interesting books for you guys, and it's a combination of books that I just never think I'm gonna read. Two, like a book that I've read and I didn't really like, so I don't want to carry on with the series, or I just don't want the first book of that series anymore on my shelf. And yeah, that's mostly it. So let's get started. Oh, the first book is going to be pretty familiar to a lot of you guys, and it's Control by Lydia Gang. I bought this for the Booksplosion read-along. Literally, even before the read-along, I didn't even want to read this. This isn't a book that I think I'm ever going to read, and it's unfortunate because it's still a new release, and I spent like $14 on it, but I'm never gonna read it, and it's good to clean off the shelves. Next we have The Gathering by Kelly Armstrong. This is the first book of like another series to a world that I've read the first trilogy to. I think I've just kind of grown out of this series. I'm not really interested in continuing. The next book is The Distance Between Us by Casey West. I read this and I thought it was just okay, so I'm just like, meh, I'll just get rid of it. I'm just gonna donate it. Is Enclave by Anna Guire. I've actually heard pretty good things about this, but I'm not a really big fan of dystopian anymore. I am and I'm not. So you're gonna see a theme. There's gonna be a lot of like random dystopians that I'm gonna be giving away, but this is one of them. Next books I'm gonna give away is Delirium and Pandemonium, the first two books to the Delirium trilogy. I've had these for over a year, and I mean, I've heard mixed things. I'm just gonna not read these. The next book is The Iron Thorn by Caitlin Kitteridge. I think I just bought this book cheap. I don't even know what it's about. Yep. Next one is The Friday Society by Adrian Kress. I've tried to read this book like 4 different times and I honestly just can't get into it, so even though I love the cover and the premise, it's time to let go. Next we have Shadow Cry by Jena Burtenshaw. I read this and I thought it was just okay, like a 3 stars, so I'm just like, meh, time to, and I'm not going to continue on with the series, so I just figured it was time to get rid of it. Next we have Jane by April Lindender. I really dislike this book, which I think I did, like, I talked about in my wrap-up, but yeah, it was, yeah. We have The Trickster's Queen and The Trickster's Choice by Tamora Pierce. This is kind of hard for me to let go, but the reason why I'm doing it is because this is like a series to another series you have to read beforehand. It's like I have to read this 5-book series before I can even start this, so it just seems illogical to have 2 books to a series when I don't even have the other series on my bookshelf. So, and I bought these a long time ago, and I obviously haven't made any moves to read the first one, so I think it's time, even though I'm kind of sad about this. Next we have Star-Crossed by Josephine Angelini. I hear this is actually pretty good, but the reason why I'm getting rid of this is because I studied the Iliad for a long time, and so this is centered around like a Helen of Troy, and I hate the character Helen of Troy, so I just don't think I can read a book centered around Helen of Troy, because I'd probably kill myself. Maybe not, probably not, but just in case. Next we have Entwined by Heather Dixon. I bought this because of the cover. I read about 100 pages and I just couldn't get into it, so you know the drill by now. We have Black City by Elizabeth Richards. I love this cover as a cover buy, but again, I just don't see myself reading this ever. I just have so many other books I want to read. The next book I have is Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. Again, I bought this for a cover buy off like Book Outlet, and although it is historical fiction and steampunk, I like those things. I've just only heard like people say it was like okay, like not great, but just like good, and I'm just not, it just doesn't interest me, it doesn't pique my interest. I wanna, Next we have Mistwood and Nightspell by Leah Cypress. I've read Mistwood and just thought it was okay, and this is the continuation of the series, and I just don't see myself continuing or rereading these, so I just figured it was time to move on. Next we have Partials by Dan Wells. I'm still kind of on the fence with this one because I hear this is pretty good, but it's kind of, I don't know, just a long dystopian trilogy, and I just don't see myself committing to that anytime soon. You know, this might just be like a library rental one day. Next we have Reboot by Amy Tintera. Again, I'm just not super peaked, like my interest in this is just not super in it. Like I've heard like good things, but just yeah, you know, I'm getting a little repetitive here, but yeah, Reboot by Amy Tintera, I'm getting rid of it. Next we have The Burning Sky by Sherry Thomas. This makes me so sad, but I started reading this, I got about 70 or 80 pages in, and I just couldn't get into the perspectives or the characters, and I have so much fantasy to read that I'm just like, it's time to let this go, but I wish I liked this. It makes me so sad. Next we have Mask of the Red Death by Bethany Griffin. Again, I just kind of bought this on a whim, and I just don't see myself actually reading it. So, yep. Next we have In the Actor by Demetria Luneta. Also still on the fence about this, because I might keep this, because I'm still sort of interested in reading this, and I think it's only a duology, so I might keep this. I'm not sure. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Let me know if you've read this and liked it. That'll be helpful. Last two books. Hold on to your hats, kids. It's Divergent and Insurgent. I read Divergent a billion years ago. I'm not going to reread it, and I just decided I'm not going to continue on with the series. It's not going to happen. It's not. Like, I almost thought I was when all the hype around the movies was around, but it's not happening. It's not happening. So it's just time to give these a new home. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That is my unhaul. There was quite a few books in there, and I realized I didn't have too much to say, but I didn't want to bash any books, because obviously these books, you know, there's people who enjoy and have read and really like these books, but really I just want to express that I'm just not going to be reading these in the future, so I'm just going to get rid of them. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give any of these away. I just can't afford the shipping costs to send these around. I'm just going to be donating them to like my local Goodwill. So, you know, people who need to read can. So, you know, I'm donating is a good thing. So, yeah, so yay, cleared off a little bit off my bookshelves and TBR pile. So, BEA's coming, so perfect timing. Alright, so I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!